What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my Horror Corner. I'm Drop Dead Fred. Hope you're all having a great day, great week, and just want to send nothing but positive vibes and blah, 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 blah. I really need to get a new intro. So today we are looking at the 1925 silent horror classic film, The Phantom of the Opera, directed by Rupert Julian and released by Universal Pictures. Now, I'm currently reviewing the version that's on Amazon Prime. In parentheses, right next to the Phantom of the Opera, it says silent, if that matters. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description. So, The Phantom of the Opera is the first in the Universal monster movies, and I'm very excited to be diving into this part of the horror cinema. I have not seen any of these older movies since I started reviewing them prior to this year, believe it or not. I'm very new to horror. Now, when I say very new, I don't mean just like, oh, I just started dipping my toes in yesterday, but I didn't necessarily grow up on it. When I was younger, I fucking was terrified of Chucky and Leprechaun and stuff like that. So I kind of avoided a lot of horror movies up until my later teenage years, and definitely more in my 20s when I met my girlfriend. She was the one that introduced me to a lot of stuff, and now I fucking love it. The movie stars Lon Chaney, the man of 1,000 faces, and I've always heard of that name and that reference to him. I never understood why. After I watched this movie, I did a little research. I watched a little documentary on YouTube where they interviewed different actors or people that work in special effects, like Rick Baker and stuff like that. They showed a lot of his different characters that Lon Chaney would play, and it's unbelievable the length that Lon Chaney would go to embody some of these characters, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I've heard about this movie called London After Midnight. It's supposed to be like some lost film. And in this movie, I believe he plays a vampire, and he's got like these razor sharp teeth, and his eyes always look wide as fuck, like wide open. And apparently he put like rings around his eye sockets to give him this crazy, wide-eyed look. Now and even with the Phantom role, I believe he used fish scale. I'm not sure why fish scale, maybe because it was strong, maybe because it's kind of transparent. And he taped it so he could give his nose that effect. And he taped it all the way back to his head, and he put a bunch of prosthetic, stuff on. Like I said, the man was an absolute fucking genius when it came to makeup and effects. But all right, let's move on. The movie also stars Mary Philbin as Christine Day, the Phantom's love interest. We also have her love interest in the movie, Norman Carey, who plays Raoul. I'm not sure. These are supposed to be French names, but I feel like when I say Raoul, it's like a complete different accent from what it would be French. And then we also have Arthur Edmund Carey, who plays Ledoux in the movie, who is probably my second favorite character in the movie. All right, well, right now, the movie's almost 100 years old, so spoilers. Ledoux is seen throughout the movie, and my first time viewing, I was just like, who the fuck is this guy that keeps lurking around when the Phantom comes, looking all mysterious and like he's up to something? He turns out to be a freaking secret cop that's been investigating the Phantom, and this is where he's led to, is the Paris Opera House. So, essentially, the story follows Eric, the mad and disfigured composer who still roams and haunts the halls of the Paris Opera House. He happens to fall in love with one of the singers there, Christine Day, and he will stop at nothing. And I mean nothing. He will strangle people. He will poison people. He will do whatever it takes to get this woman's love, and even if it's against her will. Now, I really enjoyed this first act of the movie. It's a little comical, and I was not expecting that. There's a part where there's a bunch of ballerinas. They're running around, scared because they saw the Phantom's shadow on the wall. And they go seek comfort to some little old man. And their reactions to the Phantom's shadow that keeps appearing is just so hilarious. And it caught me off guard because the movie starts off on a kind of weird note. Really quick, if you want to know more about the movie's little intro with the guy in the lantern, I'd suggest watching Cinemassacre video on it because he does this really good segment. So yeah, it starts off a little weird, and then all of a sudden it gets a little comical with these ballerinas running around. They're seeking information from this guy, and he's kind of describing the Phantom to them. There's also a part at the beginning of the movie where the opera house is being signed over to new owners, and right after they sign and the house is theirs, the old owners are like, by the way, don't go peeking around and, booth number 5, you'll meet the Phantom there. And they kind of just brush them off like, this dude, shut up, you're joking around. And then they go and look for themselves, and they just see the back of the Phantom's head, and their reactions are just a little over the top acting. But what can you expect sometimes from these movies? It didn't really bother me too much. So the second act is getting really good though, because this is a point where the Phantom reaches out to Christine, and he's like hiding behind the walls because this Paris Opera House is built under a like labyrinth, like a torture dungeon, fucking galore maze, and there's like secret passages and hidden doorways and things like that. And he's essentially calling out to her through the behind the walls, and he's telling her, hey, if you will be mine, I will give you all of Paris. They will worship at your feet. I will bring all of them here for you. Which I don't understand, how is he going to do that if he only hangs out in the opera house? And he straight up tells her, like, you have to forget about all your otherworldly things and call me master. And I'm just like, yo, this dude is hella dumb. I mean, he goes as far as to threatening the managers, saying, hey, if you don't let my girl Christine sing and take this bimbo off the stage, she's not a bimbo, I forgot the other character's name, but there's another singer, and basically the Phantom keeps trying to get her not to sing, and that way Christine will be the star. He like goes and threatens them twice. The second time, the girl and her mom are fed up, and they're like, I don't give a damn about some Phantom. This is all a conspiracy. My little girl is gonna sing her heart out. And they defy the Phantom. And what do you think's gonna happen when you defy the Phantom of the Opera? Motherfucker brings a chandelier down on the house. Holy shit, this scene right here was incredibly exciting. I did a little research, and apparently they wanted to cut away right when the chandelier was coming down, and they didn't want to show the aftermath, which that would have been lame. Like, I don't know. I'm all about like ambiguity and using your imagination, but this aftermath looks so intense because you get the shot of the chandelier coming down, and then next thing you know, you don't see it crash, but next shot is it's on the fucking floor level. It's probably killed a bunch of people. There's people kind of running away from it. It was just a very well done shot, and I fucking love this little like stunt they did. Also, they threw out a lot of money to replicate the Paris Opera House, especially with the Mask of the Red Death scene, but we'll get into that. So it's that during all this commotion with the chandelier dropping that the Phantom reaches out to Christine and is like, hey, let's go. You ready? Go to the mirror. And she's more than 100% down. Like, I don't know if she just realized what just happened, like outside of her dressing room, that whole incident, but she is more than willing, and she goes to the mirror and she finally appears to him, and he's got this really, really quick. I've never seen a Phantom of the Opera movie. I've known of the character, through either parodies or something of similar, but I've never seen a direct movie that was based off the book. I did see this one movie when I was younger, in like early 2000s on Disney Channel, called The Phantom of the Megaplex. But that's neither here or there. So this mask that he has on was something I was not expecting, because I always have seen the half face, where it's like, half of their face looks normal and the other half of it doesn't look normal. And I absolutely love this iteration of it because it just looks absolutely creepy. You got this weird plastic looking face, and then he's got like a little paper that covers the bottom half of it so you can't even see his mouth or anything. So when he's talking, it just looks like a little piece of cloth is moving to indicate that he's talking. And I thought this was cooler than the fucking halfway mask. I mean, yeah, that looks cool with the cape and everything, but Lon Chaney's entire outfit and the things that he went to just get into this character will top that. And I know, like I said, I haven't seen any of the other movies, but holy shit, this character, everything about him is just fucking insane. But her reaction to it is kind of like creeped out, and he even tells her, don't even worry about my mask, just think of all the things that I'm going to provide for you. All he wants in return is like, hey, don't touch the mask. That's it. Just whatever you do, forget about everybody else, but now that I got you down here, just don't touch my mask. What do you think happens? But I'm glad it does, because it gives us one of the most iconic scenes in the movie and in cinema history. The unmasking scene is something completely unreal. And I don't necessarily mean like just right when she does it and we see his face necessarily. Like, the shock value was insane, of course. But man, this guy just lets out a variety of emotions right here. From complete shock to anger to disbelief that Christine did this and betrayed him, to sadness, remorsefulness. Like, it's just all there compact in this quick, like 30 to 1 minute scene, and it's fucking beautiful. But it's at this point as well as the Phantom's character also completely changes. Before, he was very just in the shadows. He was also, how do I say, he seemed very well mannered and kind of polite with Christine and everything. But once she unmasks him and we see his face, he just embraces the monster side of him. He just says, fuck it. She's betrayed me. Nobody will fucking love me. Fuck everybody else. And he just loses his shit at this point. Oh shit, my mic. He starts killing people. He leaves bodies hanging. He's being hunted down by the entire townsfolk because he killed one of these people, somebody from earlier in the movie, and they figured out where he lives. At the same time, he's also being hunted down by Ledoux, the secret cop, who's partnered with Christine's boyfriend. They all make their way down to the, like I said, the dungeon. And really quick, I didn't touch up on this before, but the set down there is absolutely beautiful. There's even a boat ride. And when the Phantom goes and brings Christine down the very first time, he brings her on horseback. And that's, oh, sorry, I know I'm kind of jumping a little bit. I'm just very excited about talking this movie. I'm trying to stick to my key points. Okay, so like I said, he's got this entire town plus the two guys chasing after him. He makes it out of the Paris Opera House, and he's got Christine with him. He kidnaps her again, throws her in the back of the carriage. It's at this point that we get probably my favorite scene in the movie. People say the unmasking scene is great. Holy shit, this next scene right here, plus along tied with the ending, is beautiful cinema. So he's got Christine in the back, and he's driving away in the carriage, and he's like maniacally just laughing. His expressions is so insane. But Doofy, he ends up crashing the carriage, and Christine's right there on the ground, and he's got like two choices: either try to pick her up while the townsfolk are coming at him with torches, or just say, screw it, leave her and start making a run for it. And, you know, he takes the latter. But this ending to this movie, and I heard that they were going to try to end it more on a more positive note, where she like does love the Phantom and he dies in her arms or something with like a kiss. I don't know. That did not sound. This ending right here is he's being chased by the townsfolk. He's pinned down on both sides. He got on the left side, he got a bunch of people with torches. On the right side, he's got a bunch of people about to come in on him. And he like pulls something out as if he has something in his hand, like a grenade, some type of explosive. And there's just nothing there. And he lets it out and he just starts laughing away. And he's just beaten to death and thrown in the freaking river. So holy shit, this ending though, I absolutely loved it. This last act, I was just fucking, especially like right after the unmasking scene pretty much, or just a little after that, you just get very captivated and you just get sucked into this movie. And especially this last like 5 to 10 minutes is fucking beautiful. Now, I personally didn't have many dislikes with the movie. If I can nitpick at anything, I would personally say it's just a tad bit too long for a silent film. I mean, that's just me. Please don't lynch me now. But some of my likes or favorite scenes, I mean, I kind of described a lot of things that I liked as I went. So some of my favorite scenes, I mean, we have to talk about the Mask of the Red Death. There is a part in the movie where it says like one night a year, you know, the Paris Opera House throws this big gathering and the Phantom shows up and his outfit, holy shit. And there's also a colored version of this clip on YouTube. You can look it up. I highly, highly recommend checking it out. First, Lon Chaney as the Red Death. His outfit is fucking beautiful. It's elegant. It just speaks so many different volumes of his character. He's got the skull mask, the skull face. Holy crap. And then also the part where he has the skull face off and he's like on top of the Paris Opera House and he's like riding it. Oh, dude, what? Everything about this movie, especially this scene in particular, is beautiful. Universal absolutely balled out. You know, I really enjoyed the scenes where we were going down through the dungeon, you know, descending down to his little hideout. I thought those were really fucking amazing. So there's a scene in the beginning where the ballerinas and the little old man, they go seek information about the Phantom, and there's a character, Joseph Bouquet, who ends up getting strangled later on. He's the one that describes the Phantom to them, and I love this little quote that he says, because if you look at the description of what he's saying, and then you look at Lon Chaney, what he was trying to go for with the Phantom look, it nails it down. His eyes are ghastly beads in which there is no light, like holes in a grinning skull. And then there's some other stuff about his nose and his, his pale skin. But I just love that first little line. Any scene with Lon Chaney, and especially after the unmasking scene, because his character completely changes. His mannerisms change a lot more. He's very more physical with his movement, and it's beautiful to see that. Beautiful to see him work. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. I'm very excited to be moving on forward. I think I dipped my toe in just a few silent films. That's what I wanted to do. And from here on out, we're going to be doing the Universal Monster movies. Let's fucking do it. Happy Spookies.